Hi, it's Jon Cronshaw here with my author diary for the week ending January the 22nd, 2023. I've had another busy week, pretty much the same as last week, to be honest. I have been doing, I suppose it feels like kind of juggling many different things. So I've been doing some courses on Facebook ads, on Amazon ads, on building an author platform. So a lot of technical stuff I've been doing. I've also been doing a lot of, I don't know, tasks that I've needed to do, but I've been putting off for ages, just fiddly little things with websites and things like that. I also mentioned recently that I'd been accepted into the Alliance of Independent Authors. So I've also just been going through their website, their emails and things like that, just negotiating, kind of figuring out what they do and kind of finding myself around that. I think that, this is definitely a better use of my time and money and things like that than the SFWA. So yeah, really pleased with what they do. They seem to be very supportive, seem to have a lot of resources for indie authors. So if you're an indie author, I'd recommend joining because yeah, there's just a lot of stuff there. I'm especially interested in, I suppose, looking into the stuff to do with translation rights and things like that. So they seem to have an agent who works with them who deals with works in translation. So that would be cool to get more books into other languages and things like that. Now, what else? I've been working through the what's it called, audiobook of the Ravenglass Chronicles. So I've just finished book 13 of that. So my narrator has done up to book 17. So it's a lot of books, a lot of novellas to get through. But it's been going really well. The narration couldn't be better, to be honest. I think she's done an amazing job. So I just can't wait for that to be out and ready for me to get to the world, because I think that is going to be a really cool audiobook, really long audiobook. I don't know. It's it's a big one, but it's 22 novellas in one thing. So that is going to be awesome. Yeah, it's, as I say, just this week I think it's been tiring because it has been so many different little things, and I think it's to do with switching between tasks and things like that as well. So I'm recording this on Friday. This is the only thing work related that I'm doing, is recording and uploading this. Anything else, I just can't be bothered. So I've been listening to Babel, which is what I'm reading at the moment. So this is a really cool book. Came out last year. I imagine it will win a lot of awards. I'm sure it probably has already. It's one of those books that's like kind of historical fantasy, alternative history kind of thing. Kind of about colonialism, about the British Empire, about language, about translation. There's a lot of cool things going on in this book. Really enjoying it. I think there's a few little things that are pulling me out of the story, and it's basically because I know a lot about this kind of, I suppose, the frameworks of theory that I used to write this book. So I read a lot of this stuff when I was doing my master's degree and PhD kind of stuff. So I'm familiar with what the author is doing as an approach, the framework that is being used, and I suppose it's that mixing up of the, what would you call it, like a kind of modern way of looking at issues of colonialism and things like that with actually being in that time period. So you've almost got these two lenses that it's being seen through, which is, of course, the time period itself, but then today. And sometimes it's a bit too, it kind of feels too much like it is trapped in today, which is really weird. But I don't think a lot of readers will get that. I think it's just because of my background with reading that kind of stuff. But yeah, I suppose it's, what would you call it? Like being in a colonial world, but seeing it through a post-colonial mindset. So there's a lot of stuff of like, it's early modern, industrial revolution, kind of early Victorian development of the railways and things like that. But at the same time, you've got this theory that has developed over the past, 20, 30 years, maybe a bit more. So yeah, a lot of kind of deconstruction and post-colonial theory thrown in there. So very interesting. I mean, it is interesting. I think I'm getting a lot from it. I think the debates about things like translation and the colonial stuff as well is fascinating. And I think because it is a fiction, because it is alternative history, things like that, it's like I now want to do more research, look more into British colonial history, Dutch, German, French, Spanish colonial history. Like, to what extent is this book an accurate depiction or fictionalized or whatever? Because I know obviously there were some terrible things that were done by my country, by many other countries in Europe, in the 18th to 19th century and places like that. So yeah, it's very much one of those books where it's like lots of food for thought, I would say, and definitely worth reading. And as a fantasy, really cool. There's some good characters. I think the main character is very fascinating, conflicted kind of hero. The magic system's pretty cool. I like the magic system involving silver and language, and yeah, it's like a magic system that revolves around the idea of translation and the point where a word can't be translated properly between two different languages, and that place of uncertainty and things like that. So it's a very cool magic system, very original. So yeah, just check it out. It's a good book. It's a good book. So next week, anyway, I could probably talk about that book all day, but next week, I will be carrying on with what I've been doing. So I've got a lot to do in terms of getting Crucible of Shadows ready for launch. I've got all my stuff scheduled, automated, that kind of thing now. So that is ready to go pretty much. But there's a few things I will do for when that book comes out on February the 1st. Few extra tasks that I need to do, a few fiddly jobs. I'm also going to be writing some blog posts. This is basically just to populate my website with stuff that will be interesting for people who read in my genre. This isn't going to be a regular thing I'm going to do, but part of this author platform course that I'm doing talks about, maybe writing about 10 blog posts that are of specific interest to your audience, just to kind of draw them in. So look out for those. So until next time, cheerio.